Good morning. How you doing?
Speak yourself.
Living the dream, baby.
That's what I like to hear.
Living the dream. Made a nice chunk of change on the old stock market this past week. So,
Oh yeah, what like
um,
just your whole portfolio in general or specific
well,
stuff?
currently I'm pretty heavily into this company called IEA, Infrastructure Energy Alternatives.
Hmm.
They're like a construction for like wind farms and like alternative energy construction. They do that.
Hmm.
And I've been in it for a while. Um, and I've been down for a while. and I think so. Earlier this month, there was uh, there was a infrastructure bill that came across Biden's desk, and I'm sure he signed it and all that and whatnot. And
Hmm.
so it kind of jumped up a little bit then, and it's been kind of slowly climbing. Um, but yeah, it's I made a nice chunk of change this week, so that's good to see. But I'm also trying to get out of it. I'm down overall, um,
Mm.
but I made a lot. Like you take some losses at some point, but uh,
Right.
I I don't know if I want to get back to break even, but I I would like to, and then I'm gonna sell, and then I'm probably gonna put all of it into Bitcoin, or I'm gonna do some sort of options trading. I've been since our conversation last week, I've been really digging in for like a week. I've been digging really deep into options, and there's a dude on YouTube. His name, he goes, In the Money is his name.
Hmm.
Um, and he makes all kinds of videos about, uh, anything from like basic trading stuff to options trading and like the most complicated type shit. And
Right.
um, he does a good job of explaining it and like breaking it down and using the terms and like explaining what the terms mean and all that stuff, which is good for me because I know, nothing.
Hmm.
Uh, and so, um, yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around the call put options where you can like set a certain amount or buy a certain amount of contracts, and then you're able to.
Hedge yourself
Yeah,
against yourself.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm trying to figure out how. And I mean, I think so. Like options are so valuable because you're able to leverage more with less money up front. And
Right.
so it makes sense how you can pull that off and come out in the with a profit. I just need like probably 6 months of hardcore studying before I'm confident to like line up my men, my soldiers, and go get
Right.
more soldiers.
Yeah, I like so you do are you do you more like day trade in general? Like because I felt like from my understanding of it, it was a little more like to really make profits with it. I felt like my understanding of it is like it was more like day trading. Like you really got to pay attention, and I'm like, ugh, I don't have
Oh,
time to
really?
pay attention. Well, only because like you have to set a date for like how long you think when you're doing your call, you're put like the contract, right?
Yeah.
And so there I saw there's
Well,
like a couple
usually
form.
it's set for you, like it's weekly, or so like most options are weekly. I'll like for IEA, there. So I think the jargon term is implied volatility, and so the higher the implied volatility, the more like up and down the stock is.
Right.
And so that then means the more, because of that, there's more options being traded on it, because you could make money. Like, more people are going to get in on that. Like GameStop has a crazy implied volatility.
Right.
But like, Ford doesn't, because it's just like a little slow, like 1 penny a fucking month increase. So that's my understanding of it. I'm sure there's more that goes into it, but like that's a big part of it. Is the more volatile the stock is, the more options that are traded on it. And so yeah, like the way that those work is they open, and they're closed every Friday usually. So like there's weeklies, there's monthlies, and if you like, some yearlies are kind of crazy. But there was a video this In the Money dude was talking about. They're called leaps, which I was watching a video about that too, where you essentially you do calls and or puts on like either a deep. So if it's a put, it's like either way. So either way, you're in the money, which means that like whatever option you're trading at, that stock price that's associated with it, if you're below it, or so if it's a put, and the stock is the money is below that, then you're in the money, and then above that is out of the money. If you're doing a call, that means you're expecting it to go up. I know you know this, but I'm just trying to, for the listeners, for all four of them. And then if you're doing a call, above that price that you select is in the money, below is out of the money. And so he's doing like deep in the money calls on stuff that's like a year out. And he's saying that like he can, the way that he said it almost never goes to expiration, or the strike date. But essentially you can like buy these options that are deep in the money, like a long time, a year out. And then you can also, if you think the stock's going to go up, you can do calls. If you think it's going to go down, do puts. And then and then he was explaining how like, so there's the Greeks with the shit, and like there's theta decay, which is like time.
Right.
And like he's going in all this shit, and over time, so you have like, there's a couple different factors like time and I forget like two other things that affect the price of that option. And so then over time, if it's, let's say you did a put on it, so you're saying you think it's going to go down. If that stock goes down, you get closer to being in the money. Your put contract becomes more valuable, and so the price of it will go up. You bought it at a lower price, you can then sell it at a higher price, and then you can pocket, like every week you can pocket, or month or whatever, or like you have a year, so like you can draw it out. But he didn't get into because I think you have to pay monthly premiums on these, but I don't know. I don't remember if he got into that or not. I don't remember.
My understanding was you pay the premium like at that time. So like, so whether it's like
even
weekly,
if it's
month,
a year out.
Yeah, you'd have to, like, he's making a big bet, right? Because he probably has a lot of money sitting there, where you and I probably wouldn't do it that far out because it locks up that money.
Yeah.
But yeah, my understanding is that when you do it is when you pay it.
Okay. He was saying to do like 20% of your portfolio on this, and you'll be able to make like 12%, 15%. And I'm like, I need another video, dude. Like,
Right.
this is,
When they started talking about the Greeks, I was like,
yeah,
what?
I'm like, you lost me.
I'm like,
I was
never mind.
already lost. I was already lost a little bit, but like, we're talking about theta decay, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, because so this is why I thought it was more day trading, because they started talking about how like there's a couple different formulas for how you can calculate and determine, because like, yeah, you could just go in and make a bet. Oh, I think this is up and gonna, up or
Yeah.
down, right? But like how much and stuff, which is important when you're doing the options trading, because you're not just saying it's going to go up and down. You like how much you make on it is going to determine how much you say it's going up or down.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really be paying attention that much. Like,
Exactly.
like I'm just going to try to buy and hold.
And that's the thing. That's why most people just buy a stock and ride it till the cows come home.
Right.
And like,
Do you follow the Motley Fools?
nah, I mean, like, sort of. I just don't want to pay the fucking fee.
What fee?
When I went on to Motley Fool, it like hits me with pay $5 a month or whatever to get all premium access or whatever, and I just don't.
Oh yeah, I just meant
Is there a
okay,
free
so
version?
no, I think they have their main programs like Stock Advisor, and it's like, yeah, like $100 a year or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just meant I meant more, do you follow their I have it. This is recorded. Just hit me up. um but their investment like strategy is basically find buy and hold for 3 to 5 years. So,
Yeah,
and like that's just easier for me. I'm like, okay, because I can
that's
easily pick companies where I'm like, oh, I'm not worried about this. I'm gonna sink some money
yeah,
in it. Every time I get paid, I'll sink it. I know this company is gonna be more valuable in 3 to 5 years than when I bought
yep,
it. I'll turn around.
yep,
And then they have some industry shakers. There's like they have like they've got a couple servers. There's like rule breakers, which are high growth stocks.
yep.
But I was just
That's
like,
what I like. If I'm gonna do this, I'm going in for more than what I can. I want more than what I can make on like real estate, and so like
right.
I can get 12-ish, 13-ish% return on my investment off of real estate. So if I can do all that, then like I might as well just buy another house if I'm going to put my money. And like it is a short term thing for me. Like I have it in there, for 2 to 3 years, just making my money work so that I don't have to.
Right.
And that's what I did with GameStop. And so there's another dude that I wish he would do more videos, but the guy that started the whole GameStop trend on Reddit, I think his name's Roaring Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
He has a different name. I think whatever. I forget what he goes. I'm pretty sure it's Roaring Kitty. It's Roaring Kitty on some things, and like it's something else on Reddit, I think. Anyway, he did some videos like 6 months ago when he was started to go all into GameStop, and he has made a couple videos since, but now he's almost just like a troll, kind of like playing to the the Wall Street Bets audience.
Uh-huh.
But if you look at some of his videos from like 6+ months ago, which I was watching them, he was looking into BlackBerry, he was looking into AMC. He's like, he's interested in these like hyper growth stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that it hit with GameStop, but like, and he made a whatever 1,000 plus way more than that, because he knows the game enough to where he was doing options on it, doing like he was doing deep in the money, or no, would that be no, it'd be in the money, deep in the money options, like a year out on GameStop. And so when it popped, his shit popped. So like, for me, my shit was like like 14x. His was like probably 1,000x. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like probably more than that. I mean, because he was leveraged so heavily with such a small investment that he was able to possess way more shares than he probably had in actual, like money.
Right. Right.
So when it squeezed, I saw last I saw he's upwards of like 50 million.
Wow.
Yeah, off of, and I believe he put supposedly his life savings into this, which if he's smart, I doubt he put all of it into it. But we're talking about like
Well, I mean,
30,
maybe, right?
$50,000.
But I mean, honestly, it's not that bad of a bet, because if
I know.
he did the options right, like, because remember, when you do it, the maximum he can lose is what he already put into it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
So he's
damn,
leveraged for he was able to limit his losses and then be able to capitalize on any gains to
right,
the tune of 50 million off of, let's just be for roundness, so let's say 50,000.
man,
Yeah, so he did all these videos on these different, like he was eyeing all these growth stocks, before anybody else was. And like there's certain people that do this, but I'm not like
that's
I'm
what I mean.
a
If
fucking
they were,
nerd. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's going on here. I'm just I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and like it's
yeah, to me, like that, those people remind me of like day traders, right? Which I know day traders obviously have a much shorter play, but like day traders, you have to pay such close attention. Like, and
yeah,
I'm just like, I have a shit to do. Like, I don't,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like I'm not interested in making this a full-time job.
right.
I'm interested in making this and that's one of the things that this in the money dude, jumping back to him, this leaps trading thing that he was talking about was like he even said himself in the video, he's like, look, I'm not interested in doing this full time.
Right.
This is a strategy. If it were up to me, I would just buy some stocks and let it ride, and and do that. This strategy, you can do the same thing. Like you can buy your whatever contracts, and then you see
That's why he's making such a long bet, so he can just
yeah. So you
set
can
and
let it,
forget it.
yeah, you can set it aside, and yeah, maybe it'll go way down, and but you set a stop loss, and like after 10% you can let it go, or 15 you can, and he walked through all that and how to do it on Robinhood, and like that's what's up. And that's the reason I like this in the money dude is because I think we're on the same page. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'm not looking to day trade. I'm not looking to be on, at 8 o'clock, like looking at 7 a.m. at, pre-market shit and looking at what happened in China
Right.
the night before at the China Stock Exchange, and then like doing the numbers and seeing who's going this and there and this and that and this and who and got and the Greeks and you got 75 tabs open and you're looking at all the shit. Like
I
I'm
know.
all set on that. I'm really good without that. But that's why I like it, is because like it seems to be a bit more manageable where you can just let it ride.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just like, I was really, I was like, what would be great? I was thinking I couldn't really find it. I was like, I want a program where there is some nerd that's doing that. And I want to just like pay him for him to like every morning be like, hey, here's where I
Yes.
put my money. And I'll just like copy you. Dude. Like, I don't give a
Yes.
fuck. Like, I don't need to learn any of this shit. Like, someone let me pay you money.
Yeah. I'm sure there's got to be that out there somewhere.
I know there was several people
It's
doing
just
that
hard to find
for,
someone like I
you got to trust them. There was people
yeah.
doing that for, what
Do you
is it? Not,
remember Dominic Francis?
yeah,
Name drop.
yeah,
Uh, I remember in high school, I'm over here, you know, like working at Kroger. I've been working since I was 14. Like I was working at Kroger. I was working at a restaurant serving, like busting my ass. And I remember I was on my way home from my restaurant job, you know, 9 o'clock. I got off early because, you know, I was working 12, 14 hours a day trying to like build up some stacks for college. And I remember this dude I stopped and, you know, talked to him for like an hour in his driveway. And he's telling me about, and you know, I'm a senior in high school. He's like a sophomore. So
Yeah, so he's younger than us.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, okay. So I'm talking to him and he's like, yeah, you know, I was doing this, I've been, you know, looking at stocks and doing some options and you know, I made like 5K this week. And I was like, huh? I'm like, oh, this is like, at that point, I didn't know I know what stocks are at that point. Once he said options, I'm like, oh, this is like he's in a pyramid scheme. This is like because I'm a dumbass. Like my parents, you know, like they knew about the stuff, but like that, you know, they didn't do it themselves really that I'm aware of. They didn't share it with me if they do. And like, I'm not, so I was just lost. I'm like, you're okay, whatever. You made 5K, but you about to lose all that shit because you're doing some fuck shit.
Right.
And you know, looking back, I think about that all the time. I look back on that conversation that we had, and he was trying to like educate me and teach me all this shit, and I just was like, I don't know anything that you're saying. You know what I mean? It was like he was speaking a different language. And you know, like I'm interested and I was trying to understand it and I just had no clue. Like I was so lost. I'm like, how the hell did you make I'm making $800 every 2 weeks, working 14 hours a day, and you're telling me you made 5K this week? Like what? What the hell is going on? And so, you know, I look back on that conversation all the time. I'm like, God, if I started when I was his age, if I just took the money, like the extra money that I made from when I was 14 to 18,
yeah,
instead of, you know, buying up stupid like shoes and whatever, like I had money saved, but there was no purpose to it. It was like, oh, it's just there for me to spend. So it wasn't even a thought for me. If I had saved that and invested it, I would have been right there with him. But I also probably I'd be looking at, you know, like deep into six figures instead of
I would say, yeah.
Instead of, you know, like pushing on it, leaning towards it.
Right.
So, you know, like
I didn't know he was doing that stuff that young. I never heard him mention it. I guess because it was like we're talking about he went to WC, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too, is like he was so, I don't know what possessed him to say that to me then. Because like I feel like he's a relatively private person, especially you know, about finances and stuff like that. I don't know how we got onto this. I really don't know what we were doing, but it was just like it seemed so effortless to him. Like he had such a firm grasp on it. And I remember him telling me too that his parents were like, you know, his parents were telling him, you know, like, don't do that, you know, like just save your money and put it in, you know, like save it for college or whatever. And he's like, but how am I going to not do this? I just did 5K. You're going to tell me not to do this? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I do that. What are we talking about? If you make 5K and you know, it's not, and like the conviction at which he told me, I'm like, dude, you know something that I don't? I love it. Go.
Right. That's
And,
hilarious. So man, I wonder, I don't think maybe on Instagram, I wonder if he's like still like in it. I'm sure,
yeah. I have not,
that's crazy. I even went back in college and because he was playing for WC and I coached him with Steyer like for a season. Really? Yeah, I would help out in the summer. And so I know him well, but I didn't know that he was doing that at all. That's crazy.
And maybe he's not doing as much. When did I meet up with him?
Dude, there's no way. If he made 5K or if he made 1K as a fucking sophomore and he's not doing it as heavy, I'm gonna fucking beat his ass.
I know, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? I don't know. I hope so, but I'm pretty sure. So I'm bringing this up because I think I hung out with him and Andrews. What's the youngest Andrews kid?
Oh, his brother. I
Anthony.
know who you're talking about.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony and I went out to a spot with them. God, years ago. Maybe not. Maybe yeah, it had to be years ago. 2, 3 years ago. And I remember talking to them then, and he didn't bring it up. We were having some drinks and like doing our thing, chilling, talking, catching up, and yeah, he was like,
because he's like an engineer or something now. Isn't that what he went to school for? Like, yeah, like because that's what his dad
went to school for like business or engineer, like some sort of something like that. But now he's in he's like in the CIA or something like that. And that's all I know. Don't come kill me. I'm not.
Oh, he got recruited.
But yeah, that's what I heard. Is that it's not. I don't know. I don't think it's the CIA, but like it's some like private federal entity or something like that. Maybe the FBI or something.
Yeah.
I'm putting all his shit out, and so.
I mean, they publicly recruit. I mean, you're just not gonna know what he does.
So he do that now, and so I don't know. Maybe he got in too deep, and they like leveraged him into it. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he was making a shit ton of money, and then they were like, "Yo, why don't you come work for us? Or else we're gonna hit you with them capital gains taxes and take half."
That's hilarious.
I don't know. So that's what I've heard that he's doing. That's from when we talked last, but we never got into. We were talking about that mostly. We didn't talk about anything else, and I wasn't gonna pry on him and try to like pull that out.
Shit, I would have. I'd have been like, hey, motherfucker.
So 2-3 years ago, I didn't give a fuck about stocks. I didn't know what it was. I was like, I'm just gonna do real estate and like that'll be my thing. And then I realized that like putting your money in a bank account is the stupidest thing you could ever do. Hold cash is trash. The whole gambit, right? And so, I'd say about a year ago, I started, really getting into stocks heavy. And, thank God I hit the jackpot with GameStop. And, like that's sort of a lucky-ish thing, but I did my DD on it. Like I was, I talked about it on here before it even happened.
Yep.
I was, in it, all the way months before that. And so, it's just like there'll be something else that'll come that I'll catch on to. And the more that I learn and the more that I study, the more like, the more comfortable and familiar you get with trends and how things work.
Right.
I'm straight. And then also, once I can wrap my head around options, I'm a different animal. Like I'm unstoppable.
Right.
But yeah, so I really hope that he's still stacking cheddar on the stocks. But like, it's just crazy how I don't know what got him into it. And I would love to talk to him about it and like break down what even got you started in this. Because
right.
To be at the point where you can make 5K in a week.
I would almost guarantee that he got into it because someone at WC, like someone's parents at WC was doing it. And like one of the kids was probably talking about it and he like got into it. That had to have been it because.
Or like YouTube or something. I don't know.
I just can't I mean, and Dom's a cool dude. Like that's not the DNA of those kids. The way he grew up and where he grew, you see what I'm saying? Like to go be searching is not like, that's a much more like where it's like, I don't know and I don't know, my situation fucking sucks and I'm always looking for the advantage versus like I mean, he could have. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like it's more. I would be flabbergasted if there wasn't at least a couple families, someone's dad or something who's not doing stock. Who was a stockbroker, something
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
I'm sure half the dads there are fucking.
Yeah, like leveraging that in some way, shape, or form. And so then one of the kids was talking about it, and Dom was like, "Oh, cool! I'm just gonna jump in." Like that would make more sense to me because
Yeah.
I just can't see Dom like,
But Don,
especially knowing him then.
I don't know. I don't know him and I'm gonna throw a little shade at Dub C, but like, there's a culture that's
Oh yeah, for sure,
deeply entrenched there.
for sure.
And so I could easily see him being, and so you adapt. So I could easily see him being, adapting to that culture, but then also, I mean, like he lived in the same neighborhood as me. Now, I don't know what his childhood was like and like, what his parents do, nothing like that. So I don't know if, he moved around a lot or if, they were whatever, if their, parents got laid off or, like he had his own life and I had mine. And so I don't know what his situation is like, but he in growing up, he seemed to be, when he was out of that area, out of the Dub C space, he was like, even in the Dub C space, he was like soft spoken. Wasn't like, hating on people for no reason. Wasn't doing.
Oh yeah. No, not at all.
Wasn't doing that typical stuff that's a part of that culture and sort of like exclusionary and whatever else.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
Super dude. And so I'm 90 now. Super guy. But yeah, so I think I could see him, because I don't think he was deeply entrenched into the Dub C culture. I could see him having a little chip on his shoulder, having a little bit of like set asideness, what I mean? Like there he's quiet, soft spoken dude, but then, in the hood, he was, like he would talk to me about
anything.
anything.
Saying though, Dom, like, no, he's cool like that, but like he wasn't on no scholar, like, I don't know, like your parents aren't paying 18 grand for you to go to school, bro. And you're like, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I guess what I would be very curious, like you said, to hear where, if it was something he hopped onto or if it, because the way that he said it to me and the detail with which he was like describing shit, it sounded like it was his own pursuit.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously that's clear, like, but I mean, like you were saying, like, so like you said, it's one thing to know about stocks, but for you to, especially now as a freshman or sophomore,
True.
to be heavily in, like, you have to know stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a 15 or 16-year-old, that confidence would come from if I know a kid who's like, that was giving me a lot of confidence versus like, because if he's making 5K at 15, he's been in it for a minute. So like, you're telling me at 14, you really like, without the confidence of knowing someone else, I feel like that's like, even if we had figured it out, I'd been like,
yeah. I feel that for sure. Like if there was some way that I could have got, into this at the same, if for whatever reason, if it clicked when he said that to me, I would have been a fucking.
But that's what I mean. Like, so like a lot of people know about the stock market and stocks, right? Just like you said, but that's what I mean. Like no one gets into it because usually what you need is someone you trust or are very close to who is actually in it, and that gives you the confidence to step in. Usually you're not just like, especially as like I said, a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, like.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like it's almost it's like a walled society where it's like, if like my parents, it was like anytime we talked about the stock market, it was with my family in general. It was like fear and you'll lose all your money and if you're gonna get fucked, basically.
Right.
Stock market will bend you over, so don't even try.
Right.
And just do other things, start a business, do real estate, whatever. And that was my belief for the longest. And so I'm like, if you make money on the stock market, it's just you got lucky.
Right.
For the, until probably even at that time at 18, I was probably 17, 18, I was probably like, you got lucky. You know what I mean? Like he got in and caught something and got out. Woo.
Yeah, I know my thought about it too was like you needed a lot of money to make it work for you is what I always understood. It's like what my perception was, which isn't true.
No.
But
no.
yeah,
I learned
that's what I thought
firsthand.
as well. I learned firsthand.
Yeah.
I remember that. Like I would hear about, but like you said, there was some of that perception, like, hey, you're gonna lose, but like it felt like being in the stock market was a game for people who had a lot of money.
Yep. Yeah.
And that, like, unless you have a lot of money, you shouldn't get into it.
Exactly. It was like, it wasn't for me. It was for, old whites that had got old money.
Right.
That have been around and like they got a bunch of just shit floating around and they pass it on and do whatever. Whereas like now, and that's what's cool about Robinhood and some of these other things. Well, and here's another thing. Here's what really got me started. Once Robinhood came out, I threw the minimum was $50. I threw 50 in it. A year later, I doubled my money. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I tell you,
what stock was that in?
It was a gold company because fucking rich dad, poor dad is like, no, don't buy anything in the stock market unless it's gold. Nothing but gold. Which is like kind of smart now.
I mean, you can't go wrong with it, but yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So I was at that time, this was 5 years ago, probably longer than that. It was legit when Robinhood came out. Or at least when it started to become like, really big. I put $50 in it. This was, I can't remember when this was. God damn. A long time ago. And then a year later, I put 50 in it. A year later, I had like $98. And I pulled all that out and I'm like, wait a second. This is different. This is not what I thought it was. And it's and legit, I forgot about it. It was like the app was on my phone and I was just like, wait, let me check this out. Let me see what's going on with this. And I opened it up and I was like, oh, hello.
That's hilarious.
And so at that point, that was the first step for me to be like, wait a second, okay, hold on. So you're telling me that if I put 10K in here, I would have almost 20K?
All right.
We're getting somewhere now. In a year.
Hey, you put that in your bank account, you're gonna have like $50 and 2 pennies.
Less than that.
Not even that.
They probably wouldn't even give me any interest. They're just not enough. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, fucking
yeah.
bank.
So I was like, okay, so hold on. Let me just get this straight. I can put my money somewhere and it'll double in a year. Okay. So that was like the first step where I started to get into it. And I knew the basics, right? That was like my first wave of like understanding stocks. I knew nothing about options at this point. All I knew about was like just you buy some stocks, you sell them when you don't want them no more. And like buy low, sell high, sell on green days, buy on red days, like that, those type of principles, like that was when I got into it. That was like the basic stuff I learned. And then, like a year ago, maybe a little more than that, is when I discovered what the heck an option was. And now I still have no clue what they are, but I have a better idea of what they are.
Yeah, I like E-Trade gave me, they just like approved my like futures trading account too. And I don't really understand all that too, but I was like, yes, activate it because maybe one day I'll figure it out.
Exactly. Another tool. So was I talking to you? I'm pretty sure I was talking to you. Is E-Trade the one where you can get a debit card from and
My understanding is that you can actually do it on any brokerage account, but yeah, I ordered my debit card now, and it's not like, so you have to go searching, I think, because this was not
I think
even on.
Robinhood has that too. I think I saw
Yeah,
that.
I think my understanding is that any brokerage account you can do it. I don't think that they like, even on E-Trade, it's not like heavily advertised. Like I had to like, I don't even know how I knew it was a thing because my mentor had said that you could, but I didn't see it anywhere on the site.
I'm
And
sure
then I like somehow was, I think I maybe even went on like support, like the support part of the website, and just like typed in and it came up. Because I don't think that they want, it makes sense, right? That the trading platforms wouldn't want you to use it like a debit card and take money out of their platform because, but yeah, my understanding is you can do it on any brokerage account.
Interesting. So, okay. So then,
and write checks out of it.
Okay, so let's just play this out with our last 10 minutes where you gotta go. So then if we were to, that would then function as a bit like your bank account, debit account, and then you could get a credit card with another place, or would you get a credit card? Like, I don't,
I know that you can't on some of them. I have not looked into this at all, but I know with some of them you can leverage a credit line off your portfolio. I'm sure that there's different requirements and qualifications for, I don't know how easy that is. Like I would assume it, maybe, I don't know. This is literally me making this up. I would assume that it's probably not as easy to get a credit card or a credit line off of your portfolio as it would be in a traditional bank, because the traditional bank is happy to give you one because they're trying to make money off you on the interest. And the brokerage's main goal is for you to keep your money there and not lose that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would assume it's probably a little bit harder, but I have seen like, I don't know. I just know you can get a debit card and write checks out of it for sure, because I actually ordered my debit card. It should be here in like 5 days.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, yeah, my goal, like you were saying, is I plan to once I get the card, I could even, I plan to like deposit like 90% of my money into just that, because like I said, my money can work for me there versus if I only like,
what are we doing in a regular bank account getting 0.001% interest for what?
Like I bought some BOA stock, some Bank of America stock, and made $7 yesterday. So like that was nice. Like
fat stacks.
You know, like I'm not gonna make $7 of it sitting in my account in Bank of America. I have it a bank.
It would take you like, it would take you a year? I don't even know. To make that much?
Yeah, and like how much money do you need to be sitting there though for a year on that account? Like
yeah, exactly.
I mean, you need way more than I have it. I literally just dropped 2,800 in this account just because like, I'm just like open. I'm just gonna drop like 2,800 of it, and I don't even. All of it hasn't even like come through as available for me to trade yet. I literally have like $150 worth of like Bank of America stock.
Love it.
Because it's like it trades at like $42. I have like 3 shares and made like $7, and I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, dude. It's a little. What's the phrase? Little risk. No. Small. I think it's in like Remember the Titans. Something like small risk, small reward, big risk. I forget what the fucking phrase is. I don't know. I'm not old enough to know phrases.
That is hilarious. But yeah, so I think, like I said, I think you're like Robin. My understanding is that in a brokerage account, you may have to call, like I said, they may not advertise. You may have to call them or something, or find it on the support site. But that yes, you can get a check or a debit card out of any brokerage account.
That's what's up. That's it. I get what I want. If I can do it, I'm gonna get it. I don't care. Right. I tell my girl this all the time. She's like, just don't worry. No. I want it. I'm getting it.
Right.
What, like, it doesn't. There isn't it's too hard, too complicated. No. If I want it, I get it.
Dude, I literally just found
I'll be an asshole to anyone that gets in my way.
I'll be an asshole. I did the same thing. They hide it in the support articles. That's how to get Robinhood's debit card.
Now I did see when I pulled up Robinhood the other day. I did see it was like front page on my shit. Like,
Oh, nice.
get the debit card.
Nice.
I
Okay.
was like, oh,
Good.
sign me up. But I'm sure Robinhood gets some kickback, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, yeah, I'm just like, cool if I can. And I think yours may have it too. There was like ATM refunds. Like if you ever
Yeah.
like on it, and I was like, well, no other bank fucking does that half the time. They're like, only if you go to our ATM. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck
exactly.
your ATM. You have like 2
Fuck your
ATMs in the
ATM.
city.
Yeah.
like
Well,
I'm not
see,
driving 15 miles to get to your
bro,
ATM.
that's why I use Chase, is because they're everywhere, and so I
Mhm.
can go anywhere in the United States. I've been overseas getting,
Yep.
well, not technically not overseas. I've been in the Central America pulling up to a Chase
Right.
because they got ATMs everywhere, but like they only got a little bit of mines. You
Yeah.
ain't getting all my interest.
Right. Yeah, no, I like Chase. I like Chase a lot. I think they do good customer service too. Maybe I should look at some Chase stuff. I don't know. I have Chase and Bank of America. But
Why are you buying banks?
I'm putting a little one because it's cheap and the return's easy. Like
Okay.
just cause.
Just cause.
I ain't going heavy there, but I'm just like, hey,
I hear you.
I also because I'm like, I've seen that if they get in trouble, they're gonna get bailed out anyway. So I'm like, whereas like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like if someone else, like, are you gonna bail out IEA, whatever the fuck you were talking about? I don't know. You know, I'm like, I know you gonna bail out Chase and Bank of America for sure because I seen it.
Because I've seen it.
So I know I'm gonna be all right.
Damn near once a year, and they're gonna bail that bitch out. Get a whole bunch.
Yep.
They're gonna put half of it to stock buy, probably more than that to stock buyback. So you get your slice, and then they'll lay off half the company.
Hey, you know, hopefully they got some stock in BI. I don't know what to tell them.
All right, boss.
Oh, that's funny. All right, brother. Yeah, I gotta go get ready for this other meeting, but
good work.
Good catching up as always, and we'll be back at it next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace.